Welcome back, Masters and Princesses, to another episode of Made News Network. I am your host, SJ Nix. I am here for her first official interview on the channel with Destiny, and we have one hell of a guest for you to get Destiny into the fold, to get you guys knowing everything that went on with the last tour for 2023, the 10th anniversary tour. If you had VIP, you met this gentleman. This gentleman, as we want to call him right here, is Colin. Colin, say hi, bro.
What's going on, guys?
Hi, so happy to meet you.
I've met you before, but it's nice to be back with my first touring family, should I say. This is my first tour family.
Oh, I love it. I'm so excited for this, dude. We had so much fun. It's like I met you and like within 30 seconds, we were freaking bros. It was
for sure.
It was so cool. Everybody's telling me Colin is so cool. Colin's the greatest guy. I'm like, oh, hey, Colin, what's up? Hey, what's going on, SJ? And we're hugging it out and we're having a good old time.
Mark is probably still circulating pictures of us hugging.
That's beautiful.
I've got pictures hugging a lot of Band Maid VIPs, like more than any other tour put together by far.
Now I feel like you're cheating on me.
Oh no. Oh no, I'm on one of those,
I don't hug
those specials.
I don't hug that many people. Dustin, don't worry, we're okay. I hugged your husband probably.
You may have.
All right, right on. So hey man, let's get into this interview. Let's have a good time. Let's get some questions answered and see where this goes. So first and foremost, let's do a little background. How do you get a job like this, man? It seems such a random thing.
Random chance. I was working in radio for maybe 7-8 years, and I left radio in August of 2022. And I kind of just wanted to do like a regular desk job thing and have like a set schedule, go to the gym, eat 3 times a day, cook my actual food. And I only lasted about 6 months. I turned down a couple of tours, and then I had actually gotten laid off at like literally the day after. I had a phone conversation where I was like, I can't do this I definitely can't do this for a year, but I don't want to do this like today, like right now. I walked all the way from my desk and hopped on a phone conversation with one of my buddies from radio, and I got laid off the next day. And then the day after, I got a call to go on the Band Maid tour. So it was literally like random chance, divine intervention, whatever you want to call it. That's literally my story in this. Like, I got my start in radio kind of randomly. I met the friend who put me in contact with my current employer. So everything was just random chance.
Yeah, just all happenstance. We're kind of used to that in the Band Maid fandom, so that kind of doesn't surprise me.
You understand.
So is this the type of job that you seek out, or it kind of seeks you out? It sounds like it kind of seeks you out.
It's a little bit of both. There are some people who do seek it out and are able to kind of get into it, but a lot of people that I know, it just that you have to have a certain mindset to do, and you have to have a certain kind of like aura to do it. Like anyone can do this, can do my job. My job is not hard. I'm a VIP rep. I make sure that my job is to make sure that the VIPs get in at a particular time, and whatever comes with their experience is granted to them. But there's another thing that's kind of like unspoken, and it's like my job is to make sure that you all have the time of your lives. And some people are good at it naturally, and some people just aren't. And I think I have a natural gift for just making people laugh. I think that's my purpose on the earth, is to make people have a good time. So I just try to bring that. That's it.
No, you're definitely you're good at that, man. We kind of create the fandom kind of creates its own weather, but you absolutely contributed to that, and it was noticeable. Both you and Jen from the 2022 tour, you guys brought a lot to it, so it was really cool for us.
Thank you. Am I here? My connection is saying that I'm unstable right now. Am I here?
Yeah, you're here. You're freezing up every
Can
once
you
in a
see
while.
and hear me?
Yeah.
It's okay. We're all unstable here. It's
Okay.
fine.
I'm definitely unstable, like as a human, but that's why I do jobs like this.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Destiny.
Can you run that? Can you run that one back?
Huh?
Oh no, it was so the last part is this your only job, or what else do you do?
So I do a lot of freelancing. I DJ. I record and edit podcasts. I do freelance marketing.
You're a busy
Yeah,
guy.
I do a lot of different things. I'm just now fully diving into the whole freelance thing and working via contract. Because I worked for a major corporation for most of my professional career. So yeah, right now it's a lot of everything right now.
So, in regards to what you do for Live Nation and like the Band Maid tour, do you have a favorite part of your job and a least favorite part? Or do you just seem to like all of it?
Definitely have a least favorite part, which would be reports. So a lot of time people are like, "Hey, did you stay for the show? Did it?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm like 3 shows behind in my reports." Like, no, I didn't stay for this show. Reports are definitely up there and like my least favorite part of the job. Favorite part of the job is the one-on-one interaction, like that face-to-face interaction. It's something that COVID really like kind of scared our entire industry, and it really changed the way like business is like conducted. So like some people may be like, "Hey, I remember him. That's the guy that like said I couldn't get an autograph." It's like, dude, like it's in my contract. Like I can't.
Right.
Like
right. No.
Says it when you buy your tickets. Like little do you know, like if you look at the fine print, it says no autographs allowed.
Yeah.
You know. Some VIP reps might be a little bit more like forceful about stuff, but I personally like I enjoy being transparent with VIPs because again, it's like that one-on-one like experience where I can not only make sure people have the time of their lives, I can kind of help them with their expectations because a lot of times people will expect a certain experience, but that's not the experience that you're coming to get. So what you expect may ruin your night. Well, I'd rather you go in there, you know, knowing what's going to happen and the way the process like moves versus, you know, you kind of just like wandering by yourself and feeling like you were let down and you had a terrible night because you didn't get what you expected. So I really enjoy that one-on-one interaction because I think that's where the experience is actually made. I get to like kind of help you made. I kind of get to help you like tune your mindset to have a good time. So if I can start you off like that, like I'm gonna have a good night, everything that I ask for is gonna be granted to me, I'm gonna get it all, then you know, good time, job done.
Definitely.
Oh man. So obviously you said you worked in radio, you're doing this with music, you obviously love music. What are some of your favorite bands when you're at the gym, you're driving around?
If we're in rock, I'm going immediately to Blink 182. If I'm not going to Blink 182, I'm going to probably System of a Down, even though those are two completely different sides of rock. But those are just off rip. Those are my two favorite. I'm hip hop and R&B based. That's definitely my home. A little more R&B these days than hip hop. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm wearing a Nipsey Hussle shirt right now. Like, but at the same time, I'm first generation I'm a first generation kid in America. My dad is African, my mom is Caribbean, so I have a huge amount of like Bob Marley and
Oh, big,
Fela Kuti and
yeah, that's cool.
Sweet Mickey, and like I listen to a lot of island music from Haitian compa to reggae to um reggae dancehall to soca music, and then I also listen to African music as well. I've studied in Spain and like France and crap, so like I still listen to like random MC Soler. Like I listen to I'm one of those people. Like I listen to everything. Like
You mean
There's
it.
nothing wrong with
I'm getting
that.
like a lot of people don't know African people love country music. So I also kind of grew up listening to country music a little bit. I'm sorry, y'all. I live in New Jersey. And if you ever see New Jersey Drive, it's yeah. Um, but yeah, I listen to like everything. So yeah,
Well, you know, listen to that
definitely a
much.
big
It's
music
hard
lover.
to
And a
it's hard
lot
to
is
narrow it down.
I yeah, no, I can't. Not in this day and age
No.
where we have access to everything.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
So it
Actually,
wouldn't do me any good to ask you if you had a favorite. They're all your favorites.
Yeah, I can't have a favorite. I have like different sex and like favorites for different things. Like I'm like a lot of people
Right.
don't know this about me. I'm bipolar. I'm bipolar. So like my mood can be like this and then it can be like that. So it depends on what mood I'm in, and that's gonna
I'm right
dictate what I'm listening to, what area
right
of my
there with
life.
you.
Like there's so many different things. There was a time where I would have been like, oh, I guess my favorite artist is Lil Wayne. And then you look on my iPod and you see me listening to Linkin Park.
Oh, yeah. So
Like,
just like every 5 minutes it changes, you know, that's fine.
oh, good.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Good.
So
Righty.
I know you did the Band Maid tour, and then you like I think you just jumped on a plane after Mexico and went right to your next tour, right? Who was that with?
No, so after Mexico, I got to go home for about, was it a week? I got to go home for about a week after Mexico. And then I hopped on with Passcode. And from Passcode, I jumped straight onto it. I flew straight to Neo.
No.
So Bandmate, I've always had like a little tiny, well, I had a huge buffer between May and August. But
Mm.
yeah, no. So after Bandmate, I had about a week's time, maybe a week and a half, maybe. Um, which wasn't like chill time.
Yeah.
That's do whatever you need to get done for passcode, and then yeah, and then I hopped on passcode, and then that's like all right. I've been home for maybe about 2 weeks since then.
Wow. And
Oh,
who'd you
wow.
just finish up with?
I just finished up with Kirk Franklin.
Okay. Did you was
So
there
Kirk
little
Franklin
Uzi was
does
little Uzi
gospel.
in there somewhere? Or was that not you?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
definitely not. That's definitely not me. There are certain places that I don't even want to go. I mean,
Okay.
depending on how much you're paying me, I'll be there. But
I must be thinking of
yeah,
Jen. I must be thinking of Jen because we were talking about Ed. Hi, Ed.
mhm.
Uh, I
My
think
guy
I'm mixing
Ed, I love you. I'm
up.
sorry. I know I don't respond to text messages. It's not personal. I promise you. You just have a thing of texting me at the busiest moments of my life. But I love you.
All right, cool. So obviously we're here for Band Maid. Hey, did you have any idea who they were before you got this tour?
No, never heard of Band Maid. My sister had, and
Oh,
if anyone was at the Atlanta show, my boy Joe knew about them, but I had never heard of the ladies before. And
what
you'll
did
hear
you
me
think
refer
about
to
them?
What all or like
You
before I hopped
froze
on the
up.
tour.
You froze up. Say that again.
Well, you said before I hopped on the tour or when I actually saw them?
Well, after
Before
you
I hopped
met
on the
them
tour.
or started working.
They shred. But
Yes, they do.
it's not just that they shred. It's it's just like kind of weird because it's like y'all are like you're on stage persona, and then you backstage are two completely different people. And that's all of them. Maybe not Misa, but like but everybody, because Misa's jokes all day, but you know what I could understand. But like they're super chill. Like when I tell you, it's just like sweatpants, hoodie up, on the phone, just like chilling. Like something comes in the room, they just immediately smile, and it's just like y'all are the sweetest people I've ever met in my life.
Oh.
like you ladies are the sweetest individuals I've ever met. And then your team is also super, super sweet, even though you can tell they're like working and they're like tired or like whatever. If you get them to stop whatever they're doing and just hang out with them for a second, it's like the same thing. It's like they're super intense when they're working, but then on the other side, they're just so gentle and kind. And it's just like, I love
Aw.
y'all. Like, just adopt me.
Adopt me.
If
So
I
was
could
that
tour with them
your
year round, I would.
Oh, well, that kind of answers what I was going to ask. I was going to ask
Mm-hmm.
really how you felt the tour went. I mean, you worked both sides of it, both times they came back, and
I'd 100% tour with them year round if I could.
oh,
So
that's
if
awesome.
y'all if y'all have an opening, you know,
So you get Live Nation says we've got Blink 182 for 6 months. We got Band Maid for 6 months. What are we doing?
Don't give them that choice.
that's contracts, and I'm like, well, I need to see each contract. I need to see what's included
I got you. I
because
got you.
Bandmaid's so different. It's so different from my other tours. Like
Yeah.
I travel by myself and fly from city to city with Band Maid. With other tours, I may be on a bus, which has its advantages and disadvantages. So there's like there's just so what do I have to do for each one? Like, you know, it really depends. It really depends.
Yeah.
But in my heart, where am I going? I'm going with Band.
Yeah.
That's not even a question.
I got you.
It's a smaller venue, but large. So here's the funny thing about Band Maid. Band Maid played the smallest venues. Pasco played smaller venues than Band Maid, but we're playing small theaters. All of my other tours were either amphitheaters, arenas, or massive theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I still had more VIPs for Band Maid than anything else.
Yeah.
Band Maid VIPs sell like no other. Band Maid VIPs show up at a rate like no other. Yeah,
I believe it.
but yeah.
All right. So that's a perfect intro to the next question. So the fans as a group are pretty organized. Were you surprised at that, or was it difficult to get used to?
I was definitely surprised. I was surprised at the fan base, period, because I'm thinking J Rock, 13, 12, 10-year-old girls.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm thinking like, okay, like the maybe 16 to like 24-year-old like college kid and things like that. It was the exact opposite when I got there. Everybody was older, and it was a shock, but it was such a pleasant surprise because I didn't have to deal with the rowdiness and the emotional swing of children, which calls for a complete different style of management from my perspective. I didn't have to manage y'all. Um, the number thing was a gift and a curse. So if anyone is just an online fan, not just, but if anyone's an online fan who hasn't gotten to go to a show yet, Band Maid, Band Maid fans number themselves in line, and you guys were there before I got there. Every single show, like there's not a single show that I showed up to and there weren't people, or at least one person standing outside. Even in like Spokane, where the hotel was like right across the street, it didn't matter. Like Minnesota, we had terrible weather. It was like pouring all day. Still, they're still outside. So that was like great, because it's like, all right, I don't have to necessarily like get you guys in order, but at the same time, I can't enforce a line and number policy.
Right.
That's only something that can be self-enforced. Myself and security, we can't enforce that. So I'd be like, ugh, if only y'all would just do 2 lines for each VIP package.
All right.
And I know that's a whole different thing. We can get into that one too.
No, listen, you guys, I've been telling you this stupid shit forever. There should be a UVIP line and a regular VIP line. You're fucking shit up for no reason. It isn't complicated. God damn it. Thank you for saying that.
I haven't done Dawn Patrol, so I'm not in this boat. These words aren't for me.
I love you for that. I love you for saying that.
Just you guys numbering yourselves in general and like keeping some sort of order was fantastic. It only really like came back to bite me when people were like, well, I'm such and such in line, like I'm number 3 in line and this guy's number 50. If you remember the Anaheim show, there was a guy who was like number like 75.
Yeah.
And like his buddy had his ticket, but his buddy's like number 2.
Yeah.
So I'm like, guys, can we just like, I'm like, guys, can we just like let the one guy up and let him just come out for it? Because he doesn't have a cell phone. He's an older guy. We can't transfer the ticket. Box office isn't open. But I think eventually they went and just got him a printed ticket.
That was actually that was a very heated discussion when you were
it was
in the midday. Yeah.
Oh no, no. Some people pulled me to the side whenever, because I always come out and check on you guys throughout the day, especially in the hot summer days in hot cities like in Anaheim in the middle of August.
In the full sun, there was no shade.
No shade at all. There was no shade up there. Like if you were directly in front of the door, then yeah, you had a little bit of shade, but
no.
Nah.
So the tour before was run by Jessica, and the fans gravitated to her real quick. We love Jessica. Did you ever communicate with Jessica? Did she give you any hints on how to do the Band Maid side?
No, I communicated with Jessica through our project manager. So I've never actually spoken with Jessica. We've she's given like words of encouragement. She came up with, she kind of like laid out the process for myself and for my project manager. But at the time, I believe she was on the road with Suga from BTS, I believe. Yes. So just had her own storm to deal with.
That's a whole, man. K-pop is a whole different animal. That's when
completely different.
Those are those teen girls you were talking about.
Yeah, that's where they again, because I come from radio and I've done BTS, I've done oh my god, what's the other band? There was another massive band probably around like 2018, 2019. But there was BTS, and there was another band that used to come to one of our stations in New York all the time. And I'm talking like I get to work and there would be police lockup vans like parked outside of the station, and there's a lot 3 blocks long of high school kids. And I'm like, why do y'all have this lockup van for these little high school girls? And it was traumatizing. It was very hard to get it. It was so hard to get into work those days.
Traumatizing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, didn't have to deal with that here. But sorry, Jess.
Well, with those fans, I guess you could call them rabid fans. I'm not sure.
They are.
Definitely, yeah, definitely different. Band Maid fans are, like you said, a little more organized and older, a little more mature. So, I'm glad we treated you good. It sounds like you didn't have any major problems, so I'm
No.
proud.
No.
Good.
My worst problem at Band Maid was like my easiest problem on all of my other tours.
Oh, well, okay.
My worst problem was also at that Anaheim show.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, actually. And I know that was, I think that was kind of wasn't that a test for you by your Live Nation bosses? There was a little extra stress there because that was the biggest show on the tour.
Yeah. So the biggest problem that I'm speaking about, I actually had to handle it. And that was when like my boss's boss literally had just showed up and I had never met her. I'd only spoken to her on the phone. I had never been on a Zoom call with her. And literally I just turned like as soon as I'm done, like kind of like not scolding, but like very firmly telling someone what their current situation is. I had to turn to the left and be like, "Oh, hi. So you're," but she was completely, you know, you're my boss's boss, but she was completely fine with it. A lot of people don't know that for Sacramento and for Anaheim, they sold 100 more VIP. Ooh. So our normal number, I'm not going to say what that number was, but our normal number jumped up by an extra 100. So if you were at that Anaheim show and you like were in those lines were ridiculous. We had more people than the space could really accommodate. Not really. We had enough space, just the venue wasn't prepared for it. So Band Maid actually set records. I'm not sure about Anaheim, but Sacramento for sure. Band Maid VIP set records for the largest VIP pre-show that venue has ever had at Ace of Spades in Sacramento.
Wow.
Sure, we did all of that, and
we got everybody. We got everybody in. Well, Anaheim we didn't have as many. We had a lot of people signed up, but everybody didn't show up. Anaheim was massive, but most of the people in that front entrance line were not VIPs. Mm-hmm. We had more GA concert goers than anywhere else. I'm pretty sure they sold that show out. Yes. And there were probably GA people who had VIP that just didn't know they bought a VIP ticket. But Sacramento was like crazy. Like we were well north of 200 people in Sacramento, and we got all of you guys in less than half an hour.
Nice. Yeah, I never got my VIP bag from Anaheim because I went home to get my wife and my daughter because I bought you VIP, but then I bought a box upstairs so my wife and my daughter could be there. So I never did get that bag. And when I saw you, I wasn't going to bust you up about that. You had too much going on.
You could have just you could have just busted me. It's my job. Well, I appreciate the mercy. It's literally what I get paid to do.
That's right. So obviously your interactions with the band are, I would imagine, somewhat limited, and you talked about it a little bit. No issues, right? Great people. You had fun.
Yeah. Amazing people. Like, and I'm going to send you a picture after we're done. Of when I like finally asked them to take a picture, and they looked almost insulted that I hadn't asked them to take a picture earlier. They're like, we thought you never asked. Like, they were like literally like they split like perfectly, like they just perfectly split, and everybody was like, yeah, you like right here, and you in the middle, like right here, like come right here.
I had a very similar experience the first time I met them and took a picture with them. Akane came out and grabbed me and made me stand next to Misa because I was wearing a Misa shirt. She's like, "Oh, you come over here." Oh, all right.
They're so
Pretty
adorable.
much.
I know that you are obviously super busy. You talked about your reports and what's not, but do you ever get to watch any of the shows? And there's anything that's
Oh
like,
yeah.
was there like any highlights for you that's like, oh my God, what just happened type of thing?
Um, I love I'm bipolar, so I like when things like start and stop abruptly.
Mm.
Anytime they would stop and address like the crowd, the chanting, like just their crowd control. Their crowd control is absolutely insane. And again, like for that to come out of these little bodies, because because they're tiny, you know, like not just like in like stature, like in height, like they're like I think like the tallest one of them might be like 5'4".
That's
Like
how tall I am.
like 5'4", 5'6", like, but when they're standing on stage, they're giants.
Yeah.
And they play like it. So I'd probably say Mexico. Mexico was a crazy show, but that was like the first time I was able to kind of just like sit back, relax, just kind of enjoy the scenery, sit side stage or just stand side stage and watch them just completely shred. But not only that, that was the first time I got to see it from their perspective, and I got to see the fans' reactions. Because normally I'm watching it in the crowd with the fans, or I'm behind the fans. Like everybody might be on the floor, I might be way up on the balcony typing up stuff, or I might be, if it's a big enough venue, I might be in the back, in one of the back dressing rooms watching on TV, because they'll have it playing on the TV, and then I can hear it, you know, perfectly fine in those venues. But Mexico, being able to actually watch the fan reaction from side stage was probably like my favorite show. Houston is also up there because that was my first show, even though it was like small. Well, I'm sorry, it was a small show at a large venue, so it didn't look as packed as the other venues. Houston was a really, really, really good show as well.
They are small, but they are mighty.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They've got big personalities, really, really big voices, like huge voices. And they're able to fill out a microphone. And not everybody can do that, especially when everybody's voice is kind of at a different pitch in the band. But they harmonize it so well that they're able to cover out so many. It's almost like when they're all going, it's almost like perfect pitch in rock and roll, which is like unheard of. Like, how do you have perfect pitch in rock and roll? But Band Maid damn near does it, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
Destiny, you're up.
Next?
Sorry. Okay, I got a little distracted thinking about them on stage. It's always distracting. Now, have you been listening to Band Maid since you did tour with them? Do you have a favorite song at all?
Ooh, okay. Let me. I gotta take a look.
To consult a playlist.
Song.
Well, there's a lot of songs. 10 years discography.
Thrill for sure.
Okay.
It's one of their older songs. It's either there's a song that's off of either Brand New Made or New Beginning that I really, really love, but I would have to like listen to it. But Thrill definitely is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that was kind of their breakout song.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds like you're
that's that.
definitely more of a fan.
I
More of a fan
started
of him
so
now.
well. I mean, going on tour, it's like before I went on tour, it was like I gotta make sure that I like if people ask me questions, like
Mm.
I'm not good with names or faces. Like I'm not gonna be able to tell who is who, and people are gonna ask me specific questions. So I need to know something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm not good with names already. So I'm like, okay, that's probably not gonna happen. I'm probably not gonna learn their names. And to this day, I still can't like say, oh, like specifically who is who.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, certain people, yeah, like again, like me, Misa and I, like that's my homie. So like, but and it's not again, it's not personal. I'm just really, really terrible with names. But I know music.
Mm.
So I wanted to make sure that when I went on tour, I was actually like, I actually knew a lot of the songs. And it being a 10th anniversary tour, I'm like, well, they're going to be doing songs for the beginning. So let me start from at
Yeah.
least the new beginning. And even that in itself, like I'm in a frat and like my frat chapter like has a thing about new beginnings. So like it was just like everything is just like, all right, like I'm drawn to that. And in the year that it crossed, I mean that it happened was the year I crossed into my fraternity. That's the year that
Mm.
new beginning was released. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like yeah, no, I'm gonna attach myself to this. And then Thrill is the first song. So I'm like, oh, this is no, like they're hard. Like they shred, they're dope as hell. Like
Right on. That cool story, man. I like
Yeah, that's great.
it. So let's go to Chicago real quick. I know Chicago was weird because it was like this really late show. And then the next day they had to get up and do Lollapalooza. Um,
Lollapalooza.
did you work Lollapalooza or is that kind of a day off for you?
Nope. I got to go back home and spend what a day or two in my actual apartment. Yeah, I think
All
I
right.
got to spend like 2 days at home for Chicago. So I was not there. But the entire rest of the team, including merch, ended up going for that show.
All right.
Um I just had to hear about it and hear how
Did
crazy it
you
was.
did you get to watch the live stream or
No,
seen any footage of it?
no, I was most likely asleep.
Oh.
Anytime I get home from a tour, mid tour, if I get the opportunity to go home, I'm probably asleep.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand.
as much as we love music and things of that nature, very much like reps and tour people, like just like we don't sleep. It's
Mm,
very, very hard. And they did a lot of back-to-back shows. So those back-to-back shows, I got to get up and catch red eyes. So it's like I'm not getting back to my hotel to my room until like 12, 1 o'clock, maybe. Like then I got to be on
right.
a plane by 6. So you're sleeping for like 2 hours. You might the flight's probably 45 minutes to an hour and a half. You might take a little nap on that, and then after that, it's like, all right, I either go straight to the venue, I go to my hotel. If I go to my hotel, it's gonna be like 8, 9 o'clock. I can't check in
Mhm.
unless they
Right.
happen to have rooms available, or I bought a room if I buy a room for the night before. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So
Well, in the
Chicago, I was asleep.
fandom, yeah, you were asleep for Chicago. Well, in the fandom, we said that they powered up at Lollapalooza.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely,
yeah, that was major.
100%.
Uh,
That was definitely a show that put them in an American mainstream light.
Hmm.
And then working with Passcode after working with Band Maid, I got to see the difference. There's a major difference. And Passcode had fans, and they were able to do a
Hmm.
meet and greet, and they their fans showed up, but nowhere near the same number, nowhere near the same intensity, nowhere near the same commitment. And they're younger. They're a younger band, and they'll get to that level, and they're
Hmm.
super talented as well. The smallest member of passcode does like the deep demon voice, and I'm like, holy crap, like this is dope as hell. Like, because like it's just like their sound check, and I'm just like, where did that come from? And then I look, and it's the smallest one out of them who does it. But I don't even know I don't even know how I just got to that. Lollapalooza and Band Maid. But yeah, Band Maid, after that Lollapalooza show, you could tell their core fans were kind of like energized by it, but it definitely brought on some new fans and some people. And I did meet some people in certain shows like Sacramento, Anaheim. People are like, oh, or Minnesota. People are like, yeah, like I saw them at Lollapalooza, da 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 da, and I've been hooked since.
Nice.
So how about the industry side of that? Do you think, or do you know for a fact that from the industry are like, wow, who the hell are these girls? Do you think from an industry side that bumped them up?
It's hard to say because they wouldn't have gotten on the Lollapalooza stage if people weren't already aware of them and the industry wasn't already like, no, these girls are a serious thing. They've been doing this for 10 plus years. You would have that would probably be a better question for somebody who is in the who books, who's in talent booking and things of that nature, because they can give you actual like numbers, because numbers is what's going to decide that. I don't know how. Actually, I think merch did well at Lollapalooza. I know merch did well at one of those festivals that they did, because they did one in Florida, and they did Lollapalooza after that. And I believe merch sold very well, and that's what really is going to tell you if they're like shaking stuff up. How did their merch do?
Yeah,
because Taylor Swift is doing 1.3 million per night.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Taylor Swift is doing $1 million plus per night in merch. So where are you on that scale?
Not there.
But Band Maid has freaking dope. Like look at this freaking hat, dude. Like, Destiny, I have the same shirt, the shirt that you're wearing. I have it, but I refuse to wear it. That's like my that's like my trophy, I guess, if you want to say so, from Band Maid.
Yeah.
But all like, because they have that logo, just the plain Band Maid logo, but then they also have like the Iron Maiden font Band Maid, like this one, and it's just their merch is super dope. So I actually need to buy a new shirt because I ripped 2 of mine already.
Oh damn!
Oh, no.
What size you wear?
I be wear. Listen, I wear XL.
I got you. I'll send you one. I got 60 plus shirts.
I need something, man.
I got you.
My long sleeve with this logo is but it's just straight in white. That's my favorite one. And then it has the ribbons on the side for each of the girls. And I think there's another graphic on the arm of it. That's my favorite shirt. And I wore it. I've probably worn that shirt at least like 15 times, and I just got it in like May.
Yeah. I think it says like welcome home, masters and princesses. It's that one. I have mine in navy blue.
Yeah. That's a navy blue.
Yeah.
So I want to take a quick little left turn here because you mentioned merch. The fans are really good at making our own and spreading it around. Did you get some?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Curtis's coin from this tour. Did you get a deck? Please tell me you got a deck of cards and sunglasses.
I have a ton of. Well, I got 2 pairs of sunglasses. Shout out to Ed. He gave me 2 pairs in Mexico. I definitely got a deck of cards. Okay, cool. Where my deck of cards is, it's probably in my. I have a drawer that's like full of like my like treasures, so it's probably in my little treasure drawer. But I'm not 100% sure.
The other bands you work with,
I definitely keep up there.
Right on. Do the other bands fans do this crazy crap like we do, or not so much?
No, no, no.
Really?
I mean, they
Kinda
might do
surprised
like
me.
friends might do it amongst themselves, but a whole fan group, no.
Wow.
Definitely not. I've had fans that have come in and brought like, oh, well, this person did artwork for them or so and so, but I've
Mm.
never seen a fan base create their own merch and distribute them amongst each other and then coordinate when in the performance we're gonna throw everything on.
Your face in Mars. More than you think. I can see your. Wait. Oh. What? What is sound was? Oh! Oh! No, Inoshishi. Yes. Photo time! Oh, see?
Like the towels. Oh,
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah.
not just to like people made towels, but not just like bad like cheap towels. Like these are like the softest hand towels ever. Like this is quality shit, man. Like I love it.
Yeah. I started that in 2022, and then a bunch of other people jumped on that, and it turned into a thing. I think Dallas, Atlanta, LA, Chicago, and then Tokyo Garden Theater. So at least 5
Mhm.
shows had towels that were specific to those shows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an Atlanta towel.
That was
I
Brian,
have
the
like
Poe.
I have like 3.
Right on. All right. A little bit of controversy for the next set of questions. A couple of the
Uh-oh.
shows, they added an opening act, and I think that's usually because it doesn't sell out.
Oh
So Starcrawler was added on.
Starcrawler, my guys and
uh,
gal.
yeah. So the singer had some pretty wild onstage antics at the 1st
Mhm.
show that really rubbed the fans wrong. Did you hear about that? What was the? Give me
I
a little
did.
insight in that, because it was a big deal.
I did. I love Starcrawler, man, because it takes guts to like jump up on stage for a tour that's not. Yeah, it's your genre, but it's not your genre.
Mhm.
no.
It's not your subgenre. Like this is a completely like they're almost like a hair band,
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
and like they were just so nice. Like again, everybody on this tour was nice, but like they didn't really have the whole like rock and roll thing. Like they were again super respectful, like just super cool. Like and this is rock and roll. So I think it's like it's a mindset thing, and it's a lesson that like had to be learned. But I actually I actually heard their first set in Denver, and
Mm-hmm.
people were a little bit upset about it. I loved it.
Mhm.
Number one, because I'm an asshole. So like that type of like, like just being an asshole in general is like hilarious to me. But it wasn't an asshole they weren't trying to be assholes in terms of we want to insult you all. They're like, we're a different flavor, we're a different vibe, and we want you guys to be excited the way
Mm-hmm.
our fans are excited. And by the time we got to Salt Lake City, I was like, okay, this is their stronghold. Half of that crowd was there for Starcrawler
Mm.
in Salt Lake City. like that's when I started seeing like people showing up in their merch, not just their merch vendor popping up and like setting their stuff up. Like people were showing up and were lined up for Starcrawler. And like there were people who were like, I don't know who Band Maid is. I'm here for Starcrawler. Yeah, I just think it's one of those like it's just one of those lessons that like, you know, that they had to learn, like, hey, that might work for your fan base, but for this fan base, things are a little bit different. They're not your typical rock and rollers. Yeah, this is metal, but I don't want to use the word sophisticated, but this is a more sophisticated fan group. At a metal show, I would expect there to be crowd surfing. I would expect there to be things thrown around. I would expect there to be water going up in the air. I would expect there to be moshing. Like that's where I would go to mosh. Like I hate when people mosh at hip hop shows. Why?
Why?
The thing with Starcrawler that pissed people off was the overt insulting of the crowds. And then as the tour went on and Starcrawler fans started to, there's people in the fandom who knew both bands and liked both bands. And they're like, no, you need to understand that this is the shtick. She's not being a bitch.
Yes.
This is just her persona. And then people started to calm down a little bit. But
it's almost like a dominatrix type of thing. Like, but it's not all the way there, but it's a little bit like that. And again, I was a fan of it. I was like, yo, this is hilarious. Like, and also you got to think about it. It's one woman on who's their lead mic, standing with a bunch of men behind her, and generally majority men in front of her. So for her to just stand up there and say, you know what, I'm gonna take control of this whole situation, and you are all gonna do exactly what I say. I can't root against it.
It's just a lot of angst. They're different. They're definitely different. Yeah,
it was, and it was definitely a risk for them to do, you know, the type of crowd interaction and crowd engagements that they were doing, and it backfired, and it did anger a lot of people, but at the same time, it brought a little different edginess to the tour, right? It brought some controversy to the tour, which you kind of always need in media. You always you know things running smooth is great, but sometimes controversy can bring people a little closer together, and I feel like it did that for you know, for the Band Maid fan base. I feel like it brought everybody closer together. Because of the way in which they did that. So
right.
It was weird, but I don't know, like I said it then and I'll say it now. Like I think it's all in how you think about it. And I didn't take any offense to it. But gotcha. Yeah. I can understand why I wouldn't have taken offense to what was said. So
well, do you think Band Maid took any offense to it? Or do you think they thought it was, you know, just the persona and something different?
I don't know. I can't really speak on that because I don't think they're the ones who picked their opener.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that was booked through like promotion or whoever the promoter was or something like that. I don't think they necessarily knew. Obviously it's going to be a concern for them because our fans are upset and we don't want our fans to be upset. Right. But yeah, I don't know if it like angered them. I doubt it because they're creatives. And me myself being a creative, I understand that creative expression and kind of the need for like to give people their own space to be who they are and to an extent. You know,
to an extent, right?
I do know that at some point something was said.
Okay.
And they kind of changed up their engagement. I know they doubled down in a couple of cities, but I think by the time we got to Portland, they kind of like backed off a little bit.
Yeah, that was the next question. Do you know if they were told to maybe dial it back just a little bit because of the heat that they were catching?
I'm 100% sure that they were. I wouldn't know. I would know explicitly, but I'm 100% sure that they were told to, hey, let's reel it back just a little bit, you know. Like I said, outside of like when they're off stage, maybe like one of them was like kind of like rock starish, but outside of that, everybody else was like they wouldn't smoke a cigarette in an area that they weren't allowed to smoke a cigarette in.
Very respectful.
Yeah, like I helped them load their van, and like I had like, you know, had a quick smoke break with like one of them, like while he's like loading the stuff, and I'm like, dude, like I'm not doing anything, like shit, I'm not just gonna watch you. Like they're still in full like dress, pink pants, tight button up, and they're like loading up a van, like loading cases up a ramp, you know. And it's not like they had like a team doing that. They were literally hopping off stage and packing their own van.
Much respect to their manager. That manager worked his ass off.
Yeah,
I watched that dude on 2 different nights, just managing cables, like because was it Portland?
Literally in a suit.
Yeah, and just
be in a suit on stage, running cables, like tuning basses. I'm like, yo, this. I didn't know who he was at first. I'm like, yo, who is this guy in the suit?
Well, maybe knowing all this, some of the bands with some bitterness, or some of the members with bitterness, can kind of chill out a little bit. They're people too. Star Crawlers people too.
Hopefully, or you know, maybe not. Maybe they'll still say, you know, screw those guys. But and I can't. I get, but on the fan side, I can't be mad because you were insulted by a performer. So you know, on the fan side, I can't say you can't get upset at that. Like you absolutely have every right to be upset. And if that's what you choose not to like them, then you choose not to like them. But I don't think. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I also have cat. Well, I saw you have one cat, Destiny. Do you have one or two?
I have 10 cats. I do fostering and an adoption.
How is your house still standing? I just heard the collapsing of something, probably on the other side, because my personal studio is on the other side of this wall. So I just heard
I'm sitting here
collapsing.
and I have a blind cat, and she keeps playing with my lamp. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, like checking it out.
All right. Hey, we talked a bunch about Anaheim before, and the chaos and the goods and the bads and all that other stuff with that. So was that I mean, I guess did you earn your stripes at the show? Obviously, Live Nation gave you more jobs, so they must have been happy with your job.
I think I kind of earned my stripes before that show. That show kind of just like solidified it. Anaheim was crazy because I had to get ready to go to Mexico. And that was like kind of on the fly. It was like hey, we sent merch down to Mexico 3 months ago and it's still sitting in customs. So we don't know if it's going to make it. And it did. And only one box ended up making it to the show. Everything else came in after the show. So I actually had to leave I didn't have a chance to watch the Anaheim show. As soon as they got on stage, I had to pack everything up, get everything back on the truck. Then I had to fly to Target and pick up the biggest suitcase I could find, which is now my travel suitcase. So shout out, shout out to being able to buy, and shout out to being able to buy my travel suitcase on Company Dollar. But because they're just like, yeah, just keep it. I had to go buy the biggest suitcase I could find and load it up with as much merch as I could. And I took just about everything that I could.
That's like nothing though. Even the biggest suitcase is going to hold 40, 50 shirts.
I think I have like 70 sets 70 like full sets of like the merch bags and things of that nature. So
Oh, we're talking about the VIP stuff.
yeah, VIP stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, I had way more than I had like 150 something. It cost me $70 when I got to Mexico. I had to pay a tax on all of that crap.
Oh,
And they did not accept my corporate card, so that came out of my pocket. So yeah, I had to travel, but it was cool because like once the show was over, I just had an empty suitcase, so I was able to just throw all of my bags and all of my suitcases, everything into just one suitcase and leave out. But yeah, that Anaheim show was I wouldn't say earning my stripes. I think I earned my stripes. God, what show? Atlanta was probably the show where I earned my stripes. Detroit was another massive show, especially because of the location. It was another massive show, but it went seamlessly. Minnesota and Denver, probably where I'd say I earned my stripes, where they were like, okay, this kid can stay. Like, you guys had no idea that like if anyone was at the Denver show, a lot of people had no idea that the merch didn't get there until right before we started checking all of you guys in.
Oof, that's a close call.
Because there were hurricanes. So
Okay.
the month of August, I dealt with all hurricane shows. Like,
Oof.
a lot of that merch is coming from Florida. So literally having to get merch taken off of one truck and onto another. Yeah.
Man.
Boring logistic stuff, but
Oh,
there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. But yeah,
you got rained on. You got rained on a bunch too, man. Mexico rained like crazy.
Mexico was bad. Mexico was really bad. Mexico was really, really bad. Like, oh man, we went during the rainy season, and literally a hurricane was coming in like the very that weekend. So I think I flew out Saturday morning, and the hurricane touched down Saturday night. So you want to talk about like torrential downpour? Oh man, Ed, I love you. I love you, Ed. I love you.
I don't think I could handle torrential downpour.
I'm a California boy, man. If the street gets wet, man, it's like people don't know how to drive anymore if the street barely gets wet and you're dealing with all of this.
Well, luckily that's a normal for them. But my shoes soaked.
Oh,
my feet soaked. Everything was soaked. Like, oh my God, everything was soaked after that Mexico show. But we had a good time. It was a really good time.
Bring back the positive.
It was a blast. And shout out to everybody that met us at the restaurant after, and we had a great time.
I was going to ask you, man, how often does the fan base take you out for drinks and food after the
show?
That
is the only time. That is the only time, and I don't know if I would ever really do that with like any other fan base. Because like certain fan bases, it's like, okay, why do y'all want me to come out? Do you want me to come out because
you think they want something?
That can happen.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see that. Yeah,
especially when you're like seemingly next to an artist. I'm like, guys, I'm not next to I'm not even like the third person next to the artist. Like, I'm just here. But people want to go to after parties. People want to go backstage. People want to meet people. But I really just felt like this is a fan base that, like, I keep saying fan base, but like I consider a lot of y'all friends and fam. Like, I felt like I was brought into your family.
You were,
you know, and so I'm like, man, listen, when Mexico time, I'm like these other shows, I'm not gonna have time to go out. Yeah. But Mexico, we're gone. And myself and my counterpart in Mexico, he was like, I got a great spot for you. I'll call the Uber, da da da. We hopped in the Uber. I told everybody, I think I told Ed where I was going. Ed sent out the message, and next thing I know, it's a table of like 10 of us, and we're drinking mezcal, tequila, beers, and eating tacos.
I know. Yeah,
next thing I knew, I was on a plane. I went straight from that restaurant. I booked my Uber to stop at my hotel for a quick second so I could grab my stuff, and then I went straight to the airport.
Man.
I know.
Yeah, Band Maid fans are a little different. We're kind of fun sometimes.
No, all the time, all the time, y'all are fun, except when people are trying to cut in line.
Yeah, we don't like that.
But again, it's that family, like Mike, Asian Mike.
Yeah, Mike Choi.
Mike Choi.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Choi is like the most like unintentionally hilarious person I met on the road. Period. Like he'll just be talking to me, and I'll just start dying laughing for absolutely no reason. It's like he doesn't mean to be hilarious. Like he's a riot to me. Like oh my God, I'm blanking on my guy's name right now. He has red hair. Oh, I'm blanking on his. He's a little bit short. He's a little bit shorter than me, not by much. Like he's like a little bit shorter than me, and he has red hair. Oh my God, dude, I'm forgetting your name right now, and I'm so sorry, but you know who you are. I love you. Like there's just certain people when I see y'all, like my like your face like pops up, and when your face pops up, my face pops up, and it's just like no other fan base travels the way Band Maid fans travel, and like nobody like really like I put usually like SJ, you've seen me when I show up. Like I show up with the energy. I'm like, hey, like I go down the line, I fist bump everybody. Like, what's up? How we doing? Other fan bases will kind of just look at me like I'm weird.
Yeah.
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 Well, we've been out there since 4 or 5 a.m. lined up. So we're like, you show up, we're like, okay, that's like a sign, that's like a mile marker in how the day is going. Okay, we survived the morning. It's getting a little bit later. Colin's here. Okay, next up we're gonna get
even
our bags.
Like the first couple of shows, it's not like you guys knew who I was. Like the first few shows, like I'm sure, like in the Reddit community and things, like people were like, oh, like look out for Colin, like da 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 da. But you guys had to learn who I was first. I never just like jumped up saying, hey, I'm Colin, I'm your VIP rep. Like I just walked down like, hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Like everybody okay? What's going on? Da da da. And then I go into my spiel.
Gotcha.
And the energy is there before I even get into the spiel. Like that's different. I know it sounds cliche, but it really is and you have to be there to experience it. No other fan base does that. No other fan base is that welcoming and that inviting. And there have been some welcoming, but not to that level. That's
a lot of kindness.
That's special.
A lot of kindness to everybody.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah, we're giving away extra tickets. We're upgrading people to VIP. Yeah. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Freaking somebody! Oh, I bought 4 VIP tickets, and my people can't go. So let's just bring these. Who are the first 4 people over here in line over here? Yeah, let me bring this guy, and then like those people over here. Like what? I personally I'd be standing outside like, yo, I got such and such for sale. I'm not just giving these away.
Right.
That happens every show. Yeah. With people giving away VIP, ultimate VIP tickets. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right, man. Something like if we're out there, if Maid News Network's out there, we're usually like, we'll do a little trivia contest and upgrade somebody. One of the shows, might have been yours, Destiny, where we found a mother and daughter. I think it was Ed had a couple of extra tickets. Ed and one other guy upgraded a mother and daughter to VIP.
Think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And we love doing that crap because we end up buying extra tickets either because we know someone's going to want one and someone dips out, and then we're not going to let them die on the vine. Some dude at, I don't know if you know, some dude at Portland rolled up at like 10 a.m. and said, hey, I'm really sick. I can't go to the night. Here's my VIP packet. Here's my VIP stuff.
Yep.
Here's a pair of eargasm headphones. Oh, and by the way, here's $400 cash. Make sure someone has a good time. Yeah, I can tell you didn't know this. Dude rolled up
I didn't know.
handed me $400.
No, I knew about the ticket because he texted me and called me about it and let me know, like, hey, I'm sick. I got COVID, but I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, am I able to transfer over my whatever? I'm like, yeah, just give them a picture of your ID or just send them a picture of your ID or whatever.
Yeah.
$400 cash. No, this is my first time hearing about that one.
I'm like, and he handed.
I would have definitely advised him against that, but
I tried to tell him. But so what I did is I bought merch at Portland, and then we did some giveaways in Spokane with the merch that we bought. I spread it around at Anaheim. I bought donuts and coffee in the morning, and then at lunchtime we bought like 12 pizzas, and everybody had a pizza party out front thanks to this dude. And then I sent him a box of goodies too.
I didn't get any pizza in Anaheim.
Sorry, bro. I was going to ask you that too.
I was going to ask you that too. Those are the big, hard-hitting questions we need to know here today.
Did Colin get fed? No, Colin. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got fed in Atlanta, and I got Japanese beer in Atlanta.
Oh.
So. Right. And I definitely got snacks.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We've been going a long time. Destiny, why don't you hit him with 26, and then we'll wind down.
Favorite overall moment of the tour? I know it's going to be hard. Atlanta. Okay.
The Atlanta sold out theater show, Buckhead Theater, security from the venue were excited. One of the EMS workers, she's a huge Band Maid fan, and she wanted to go to the show, but she knew she was going to have to work, and she specifically requested the show, and she actually got it. And so she might end up watching this. Yes, we remember you. Yes, we love you, and we hope that you're just having a great day. Atlanta for sure. Like, I popped 2 tires on my rental car and like cracked the rim on my rental car. I had to get my rental car replaced. And like, well, not even replaced. They just towed my rental car and then just like got me an Uber back to the airport the next day. Atlanta was craziness, but that was easily my favorite show. Shout out to my boy Joe, who came out and or should I say my brother Joe, who came out and helped me with my VIP check-in. Halfway through us checking people in, I turned around and I kind of like lost Joe, and Joe's in like a full like debate about different anime and different J-Rock.
Wow.
Are you talking about Joe Luna, not the Dodger hat guy?
Like, no, not Luna. Luna's my guy. Luna is definitely my guy. But Joe ended up was my assistant for my Atlanta show. And he's a buddy of mine, and he knew Band Maid before I went on the tour. So I had to, and Joe's an illustrator as well. So he's a creative. And he's very, very big into Japanese culture. So I lost Joe at check-in.
Oh no.
He's supposed to be helping me get people all their stuff, and he's just in a full debate. Like, Atlanta was the energy in Atlanta. Oh my gosh! Shout out to my guy who brought 6 boxes of gifts that Joe and I had to personally walk back and search through with security to make sure they were all safe and there was no contaminations or anything like that. That's why I had the beer, because I had to make sure that it was going to be good for the girls.
Yeah.
Because if I got sick, then they were definitely going to get sick. So
right on. All right.
I tested the beer. Don't worry about it, guys.
Good man. So that's it. Taking one for the team. I like it.
Yes.
I didn't get any of the whiskey, but I got the beer.
Hey, you know what? We're about done here. You said you have a podcast. Why don't you hit your podcast so people know where we can find you and listen to you?
Yes, I do. Look at that. And I actually have some of my stuff here. I am I have the Whoa Chill podcast. Let's see if we can get that here. Here we go.
There you go.
Don't mind the little stains there. But yeah, I have my own podcast in which we discuss sex and relationship, but we like to think about ourselves in more of a solution-based podcast. So we like to tackle a lot of taboo subjects or things that are not widely spoken about, but we don't like to complain about them. We like to give concrete, actual, like real life, real world examples of how we can go about better ways of dealing with these situations. So if anybody would like to take a listen, Wocho Wednesday or the Wocho podcast, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, any DSP, things of that nature.
So you're not fresh and fit or whatever.
Maybe one day I'll design better. No. So the funny thing. Look, my hat just like ejected itself. Okay, here let me put on my hat then. Band Maid time is over. It's time for Will Chill. So the funny thing about them is I did not want to look like them, resemble them, or be like them. So a lot of my topics have to do with the woman's body. Well, I'm not going to sit here and as a man speak on the women's body. So I went and my best friend was my B mic, and she's a woman, but we have two women co-hosts. So I would be the A mic, and then my B and C mic are both women.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to not be fresh and fit, we decided we were going to get two women who are both very heavily opinionated, one in more of an aggressive way, if you want to call so. She's going to hate that I just called her aggressive. And then another who's a bit more subtle, but is definitely very like firm in her like affirmation, firm in like in all of her points. So everybody on our show is definitely their own individual, and we just let shit fly.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Cutwater, we need a sponsorship. You have been responsible for some of our greatest episodes. So drink Cutwater and then do a podcast and see what happens.
Do a podcast and see what happens.
You send me the link. We'll put it in the description below the video.
Absolutely.
Take care of it. So we're at the end, man. It's your last chance. Anything you want to throw out to the fans? Anything you want to talk about?
Hopefully I will be back next year. We'll see.
Whoa! Pump the brakes, homeboy. Is there something you want to tell us right now?
I know nothing.
Okay.
I'm trying.
You know nothing.
I am actively right now trying to find out. I can't say that I'll tell y'all
like
if it actually does, but I am actively asking questions right now behind the scenes to figure out if they're coming back, and if they are coming back, I would love to be with them. And yeah, there's my alarm. I gotta go.
All right, that's it.
Well, thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, SJ, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Fantastic, man. Appreciate it. Destiny, take us out.
All right, everybody. This has been another episode of Made News Network with Destiny, SJ, joined with Colin. And I hope you guys got some good insights on everything and you learned something new today. And as always, I'm going to tell you to please listen to Band Maid. Have a good day.
Peace out. See ya. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man. Thank you guys.